Hello everybody, welcome back. It is me, your old pal Orpheus, with another adventure here on Orpheus Plays. We're playing Blade and Sorcery on the PC today, and I wanted to talk about something that kind of terrifies me and fascinates me at the same time, and that is space. Yes, space, that vast expanse out there. Anyway, I'm pointing to this guy, but there's space out there somewhere. Anyway, I hope you're doing well wherever you are today. Whether it is day or night, or you just strapped yourself onto a rocket like Wile E. Coyote. You're holding on and you're waiting for it to go, and you realize, oh no, the rubber band is the other way, and you just got flung anyway. Hi, how you doing? Alright, so it's a good day for murder. We are in survival mode today. We have our choice of 3 weapons, I guess. This is a log. This is a shield, not really a weapon, and a bag of throwing axes. I think I'll go for the bag of throwing axes. We'll grab that. We'll start things off here today. Another great day for murder. And we'll get things kicked off here as we go, and we wait for our first victim of the day. Where are you? Woo-hoo. Oh, hello. First traditional slow motion kill of the day with our throwing axe. I suck. Let's try that again. You'd think after all this time playing this game, I'd be better at throwing things. Except, look, if you know the physics of this game, you know that there's some screwy stuff that happens. You know there's some screwy stuff that happens with the physics in this game. Anyway, alright, with that out of the way, let's get things moving. Let's do another one just for the heck of it. Oh, no. So like I said, what I want to talk about is something that it has captivated me since I was just a wee little lad. It's been something that's really gotten me interested in just about, all bits of science. Oh, she just died. I just died in your arms tonight. I'm not going to use that. Instead, I'm going to use this thing. This is just nasty. Take this and this. A little bit of that. So, space, right? Space is, like it says, this is always a reference people use. Like it says in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, space is big. I mean, really big. Like, you wouldn't believe how big space is. And the thing about it is, it's very difficult for us as human beings with our limited brains to understand, just seriously, how big space really is, right? So when you've probably seen some YouTube videos here and there. Pink mist. It gives me power. But you've probably seen some of those videos here on YouTube that compare the sizes of things, right? So, for instance, stars, right? They've got these stars and they'll line it up with here's our sun. Or no, here's a white dwarf star. It's the size of Manhattan. And then you got our sun right here, and it's the size of what it is. We use our sun as a base measurement, right? So then you get ones that are this one's 3 times the size of the sun, and you look at it and you're like, wow, that's pretty big. It encompasses all the way out, to the first 2 planets in terms of the orbit, and it's oh, that's pretty big. And then they zoom out and they go, oh, there's this one that's this size, and this is 15 times the size of the sun. And then they start zooming out, and you're like, oh my god, that star is the size of our entire solar system. Right? Zooming out, it's just oh good lord. There is so much weirdness out there. And that's the other thing. Not only is space terrifyingly huge, right? You could literally get into a spaceship and just pick a direction, and just go, and you would never ever hit anything without it being on purpose. Now, I'm not talking about micrometeorites and stuff like that, of course, right? But when it comes to things, they always say in sci-fi, you don't want to hit something when you warp in a solar system or whatever. Oh, no. You don't want to go to warp when you're in a solar system. You might hit something. Well, unless you're okay, well, there's Saturn. I'm aiming at Saturn. Now let's warp. Yeah, you're a dummy. You're probably going to hit that planet, So, the thing that scares me so much about space, it's not the vacuum. It's not the fact that if you go into it, you're gonna, die absolutely horribly within 30 seconds. No, it's not that. What it is, what it is that gets me about space so much is just the fact that there are so many things out there that we still don't know, right? Oh, yes! There's so many things out there that we still don't know. They say, you know, it's impossible for a star to be this certain size, like, you know, 80 or 100 times bigger than our sun, or you know, it's impossible for a black hole to exist that's, you know, certain size, this massive or whatever. Oh, we think that this galaxy can't exist. Oh no, we think that this galaxy can't exist because of the gravity involved. And then scientists every single day are finding out new things that are absolutely like astoundingly scary. Like, oh, there's this black hole, and then I'm going back to that example of like the star comparison. They're like, oh, here's the largest black hole in the universe that we've discovered so far, and it's like, it's like from us, the distance from us to like the nearest star, like Alpha Centauri, which is like what, 2.5 light years away. They're like, yeah, this black hole is like that big, and you go, oh my god, right? There's something out there that is so huge and so unfathomably just scary. Like, oh, easy. It's our drama queen of the day, ladies and gentlemen. The guy that refuses to get off screen. Ding, 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 ding. Listen. Oh, he just kind of bounced off back there. But like giant black holes that suck everything in that around, including like, you know, entire galaxies and stuff. That is scary as hell to me. Okay, so the other thing that scares me. This is a video I did a while ago. It's called I'm Pretty Sure Time Doesn't Exist. Right? I think that's the name of the video. Let's put it up here, whatever that one's called. Okay, there we go. But like, that's one where I discuss things like black holes. Now, I've done a little bit more thinking about black holes because I didn't exactly... You missed. Did you get him instead? Is there anyone even there to call him? But like, I did this video where I talk about black holes, and I've done a little bit of extra research here. Because I wanted to... Come here, you want to die! What's going on? I did a little bit of extra research because I wanted to kind of put it this way to you in order to kind of scare you even more about black holes. Okay, so when they always talk about, oh, you're falling towards the center of a black hole. Oh, where's the center of a black hole? Oh, the singularity is at the center of a black hole. Well, here's another space is terrifying thing. All right. So, when you go into a black hole, time and space... Come here! Pokey. Time and space reverse. And it's kind of hard to imagine what that means, right? Time and space reversing. Well, if you saw Interstellar, if you saw Matthew McConaughey in Interstellar, you'll kind of get that concept of the two being like interchangeable when you get into a black hole, because they show this giant library that he travels physically through in order to get to the certain places that he needs to in order to talk to his daughter and all that. Okay, well, that's still very, very difficult to imagine, because that, even though that's a representation, you still go, what do you mean by like, you know, traveling physically to find out what time is? And what would that actually mean in reality? Now, I know that Interstellar is hailed for having very accurate science. They spent years on the science trying to get it right, and they did, you know? I've heard some of the people who were consultants for that movie, and they legit put some good work into that movie. Well, okay, here's what's so scary about black holes and why they kill you. Okay. So you think, oh, well, you've seen those things that, oh, what happens? You spaghettify. Spaghettification. You get, you know, to the point where the bottom half of you is further away than your head, and so it starts to draw all the atoms and electrons and everything down, so you slowly stretch out, right? That's not really what kills you. What kills you is the center, quote unquote, of a black hole isn't a physical place. Okay? It's time. It's the future. Okay? So as you're falling into a black hole, you're not falling towards the center, you're falling towards your future. And because the black hole is so massive, because it is so dense, your future in every single situation leads to you being old and dying. Okay? So when you go along... No, don't. Are you done? You're not zapping my swords, bro. But so you're falling towards an inevitable future where you're not getting out and you age as rapidly as possible. But the thing is, you age so slowly in terms of the universe, right? That you can turn around and see the past. The entire universe is past right there out the black hole. You see it around you entirely everywhere, because as you're further out of that black hole, time is just kind of standing still for you, right? It's kind of standing still, but it's more like the time freeze thing in this game. So like when I go like this, slow motion, time isn't standing still. It's going very slowly for me, but it's going normal speed for them. And so it appears as if I'm moving faster, right? I'm not really moving faster. The constant that has changed is time. You still with me on this? Have you smoked enough for this to be friggin' deep, man? I know, I did some research, but it wasn't great. Look, I am not a nuclear physicist or a cosmologist or anything like that. My knowledge comes from, the understanding that I get off of things like YouTube videos. So that's another reason space is absolutely terrifying to me. The other thing, though, that's really scary, and it's hard to quantify how scary this should be for people, it is that there are so many dangers out there that we don't understand, right? So, you've got a neutron jet or a supernova burst or something that comes out of a star that explodes, or it turns into a neutron star and it fires a beam of pure gamma energy right into space. And if that hit the Earth, oh dear Lord, it would microwave the Earth in like 30 seconds. You'd be sitting in your house, you'd just be sitting in your house, and all of a sudden you feel a little warmth, and then everything in the house just goes and gets reduced to atoms, right? The house gets reduced to atoms just moments after you do, because it's slightly more molecularly coherent than you are. It's so scary to think that there's that kind of power out there in the universe that we have no actual context for that, right? So it's like, we say light year. Oh, that's the amount of time it takes for light to travel in a year, right? Or that's how far light travels within a year. Okay, well, how far is that, right? Can you tell me in miles how far that is? And even if you can right now, you're typing in the comment, well, actually, light year is this many miles. Yes, I know. But can you imagine how far that is? There's a thing that I do once in a while. And this is part of what scares me, right? I just kind of do that zoom out that you see in some videos where they show you how large things are, and just in terms of scale, where they zoom out from you, and it's like your city, and then your state, and then the country that you're in, and then it goes to the continent, and then it goes out completely to space, and you see all the you see the entire planet, and then you keep zooming out, and there's Mars, and then there's Saturn and Jupiter and Neptune and out towards Pluto. And you zoom out the entire solar system, and then you zoom out to the local area, and then our galaxy, and then you keep going to our local galaxy cluster, and then you go to the entire branch of where our galaxy cluster is, and then you keep zooming out, and you keep zooming out. And you get to this point where it's like your mind just goes, right? Your mind just literally gets blown. It's just boom, and you just kind of have to stop because you keep thinking and you're just going to like blow a fuse. Here's another easier way to kind of get that same feeling. If you're sitting in your house right now, or you're driving, or you're at work, or wherever you are in class, or whatever, don't watch me in class. Learn, damn it. Anyway, I want you to imagine the lives of people that are driving by or walking by. And not just, they're people too. I want you to imagine all the little intricacies that every single person that's driving by or walking by has in their lives. Every single quirk and friend and love and hate and interest and everything that you have, I want you to imagine that for every single person. Start trying to think of every single person and every single quirk and nuance and activity, and then now does your brain hurt yet? That's kind of what it's like to zoom out and just keep zooming out on space, right? Just keep thinking about how large and fascinating and everything it is. And when I was growing up, the 80s, the 70s and 80s, boy, I'm an old man. But, when I was growing up, the space shuttle program was all the rage. And so, my parents bought me models of the space shuttle and all the mission patches up till that point from Mercury all the way up through space shuttle. And I was one of the people, that watched the Challenger explode live. We were in our little cafeteria, and it was projected up on the screen on the wall, and we watched it explode live. It's one of those things that it's a very rare situation you don't get to see very often. It's like if you were alive for 9/11, you would remember exactly where you were. That sounds like a cliche, but it's actually very true. You do remember where you were for just about everything like that happens. Hey bro, I win. Anyway, that's my little rambling on space, something that's absolutely fascinating and terrifying all at the same time. Let me know what you think about space. Is it the same thing for you? Do you feel like when you look out into the world, maybe in a telescope, you look out into space, you see Saturn and its rings for the first time? Is that just fascinating or inspiring? Or does that give you kind of that feeling where you just suddenly suspended out in space and you're floating around and you're like, oh my god, everything's so huge. Here, for this game, there is a mod that's you get to be on an asteroid that's right on, in orbit around Earth. I get onto that mod and I just completely nope out. I'm like, no, can't do it. I'm floating in space. No, thank you. Anyway, we will see you in the next one here on Orpheus Plays. Do good, be good, and treat yourself well because you deserve it. All right, see you in the next one. Bye!